Welcome to 11.5. Here I will be introducing you to the AS level syllabus of proteins. I hope the prior knowledge exercise helped you recall some important features of proteins that you had studied in 10th grade. So now we come to the most important biomolecule, which is proteins. We call this extremely important class of macromolecule because if you take a single cell from your body and remove all the water content and measure the dry mass of your cell, about 50% of your cell's mass is protein. So that itself tells how important protein is to just form the structures of any living organism. On screen, you are right now looking at different sources of protein in your food. So like I said, they are molecules composed of chains of amino acids that you have already now recapped from your prior knowledge test. Proteins take up 50% of the dry mass of most of the cells, and they have diverse structures. That means there are different structures, different types of proteins which perform a variety of range of functions, starting from forming structure of a living organism's body to storing proteins in a certain form or transporting materials through the different parts of the body or across the cell membrane, making communications between cells, that is behaving like messenger molecules or signal molecules, helping in the process of movement and defending the body against foreign substances. So many spectrum of functions are carried out by the protein macromolecules. So now I want you to set up your notebooks in this manner so that as we go through different functions and examples of proteins, you will be able to take short notes around this topic. So we'll begin with the first and the most important role of proteins, that is the role of speeding up or catalyzing reactions. And to do that, we say that proteins perform their functions as enzymes or biocatalysts. So they selectively participate or accelerate without participating actually in different chemical reactions and increase the rate of the reaction. Some examples of such proteins which behave as enzymes or which are chemically enzymes are digestive enzymes in our stomach or in our intestine, like the proteases, the amylases. Their job is to break down proteins or large polysaccharides that you're consuming in your food into simpler, easy to absorb substances. The next type of proteins are proteins which store um, amino acids or different nutrients in certain stage of an animal so that it can develop and grow into a healthy adult. So the example is casein. Casein is a storage protein found in the milk. So when the baby mammals suckle milk from their mother, they actually get protein from this mother's milk, that is casein, and that protein helps in building the different cells and muscles and other parts of the body of the baby. In case of egg laying animals like birds and reptiles, eggs contain another type of protein called ovalbumin or albumin, which is found in the egg white. Those are also storage reserves of amino acids which are necessary for embryo to develop and grow into a healthy individual. The third function that proteins play are the function of signaling or the functions of hormones. So these are hormonal proteins. The most common and distinct example of hormonal proteins are insulin. Insulin is a hormone which is produced by your pancreas, and the function of insulin is to control the blood sugar or blood glucose level in your blood immediately after you take a meal. So after you take a meal, insulin secreted from the pancreas will send a message to liver to start absorbing sugar from your blood. So its job is to send the signal that now is the time to take up sugar from the blood. So you can think of other hormonal proteins. Do you know more examples of other hormonal proteins? Um, you can Google search and share in comments if you find any other hormones which are made up of proteins. And other functions of proteins are that they protect the body from foreign pathogens or bacteria or virus in the form of antibodies. So the antibodies in our immune system, which is actually the system where proteins behave like soldiers in our body, they inactivate different foreign materials or germs or microorganisms that are trying to invade into our body. And proteins can also function as transporters, like vehicles carrying substances from one part of your body to another. One very common example that we are acquainted with is hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is a transporter protein which transports respiratory gases like oxygen and carbon dioxide between your tissues and your lungs, as well as it also transports and maintains the um, different pressure of these gases in different parts of your body. So the main function of hemoglobin is to carry oxygen from lungs to the body and carry carbon dioxide from the rest of your body back to the lungs. Which body system utilizes the hemoglobin? Yes, it is the circulatory system. Sometimes proteins also behave as transporters, but unlike hemoglobin, which is actually found in the red blood cell and is flowing throughout your body in the blood vessels, other transport proteins are there who don't move around. So, where will they be? They will be found embedded in the cell membrane of your cells. So, all the cells of your body have cell membrane, and in these cell membranes, you can find different types of protein embedded. Here in this diagram, you can see a cell membrane with phospholipid bilayer, and in the middle of these phospholipid bilayer, at points you can see proteins are embedded. Some proteins have a tube-like pore, they are called the channel protein, and some keep changing their shape once they accept something. So when materials or substances want to enter the cell membrane, these proteins are like checkposts. They check whether this substance should enter the cell or not. So therefore, they are also called membrane transport proteins. So they can be channel proteins or they can be carrier proteins, means they will carry something from outside and release it inside the cell. Or they can bring something from inside and release it to the outside. So here is an explanation of what I just told about transporter proteins. They are very selective in role to ensure that toxic chemicals don't enter into the cell or excess amount of substances don't enter and disturb the osmotic balance of your cytoplasm. Proteins can also behave like receptors. So what is a receptor? A receptor is something that receives different signals. So suppose think of your nerve cells. When your nerve cells receives a stimulus or senses a change in your environment, it is these receptors on the surface of your nerve cells which sense these changes and pass this message to the next neuron. That way the message is sent to your brain. So receptors or receptor proteins function is they respond to chemical stimuli that are around the cell. So these red color spherical structures are signifying signals released by the end of one nerve cell, and the purple color structures are the receptors on the surface of the next nerve cell. When the red signal molecules from the previous nerve cell is released, it binds to this receptor or attaches to the receptor of the next neuron. Once the signal is attached to the receptor of the next neuron gets the message that there is a certain kind of change in the environment. It senses it. So these purple color structures are representing receptors which are actually made up of proteins. Which body system utilizes these types of proteins? Of course, it is the most important system of your body, that is the nervous system. And the nervous system helps in sensing changes um, around your body or in your surrounding. Next function that proteins play are an important function of muscle contraction. So as you know, in animals, movement and locomotion both are very important for the survival, so that the animals get food, shelter, and find their mate to reproduce. So for muscle contraction, actually our muscles are huge bundles of proteins like actin, myosin, troponin, and many more. You'll study about them in A level. So in this diagram, you can see how if you actually microscopically observe uh, different bundles of muscles, you will finally end up into thin fibers of tissues. These are the actin and myosin proteins that bundle up in a certain manner and then bunch and rebunch to form your biceps, triceps, and other muscles in your body. So the movement of these proteins will help in the movement of your muscles. Not only proteins help in defensing or catalyzing or receiving signals, they also are a very important part of different structures of your body, like hair, skin, some parts of your bodies, the nails. Okay. In case of other animals, their hair, horn, feathers, they're all made up of a protein called keratin. So you must have seen silk fibers or you have worn silk clothes. The silk from the silkworm and certain spiders also produce this silk. They actually are nothing but structural proteins. They help in building the web-like structure of the spider or cocoon of the silkworm. Another structural protein found in our case, that is mammals, these are collagen and elastin. You will find elastin in your blood vessels. So if our blood vessels don't have elastin, then if there is a slight change in blood pressure in your artery or vein, your blood vessels won't be able to take up that change in pressure and may burst or collapse. So to prevent that, our blood vessels are slightly elastic in nature, and that is actually because our blood vessels have the elastin protein, this protein. Then what about collagen? We will study about collagen in detail towards the end of protein topic. For now, you should know that your body has a very unique type of tissue called connective tissue, which is abundant in maximum quantity. You have connective tissue. The job of connective tissue is connecting other tissues with each other. So they are like the binding tissue, packing tissue. So collagen is mostly found in these connective tissues. They are bunches of thread-like proteins, and they help in keeping your muscles and other tissues firm. So as we age, our skin starts wrinkling because the amount of collagen under our skin starts reducing or weakening. When we are younger, our collagen fibers are firm and more properly, they form a skeletal framework under the skin. So they keep the skin tight and firm. So here we come to an end with the introduction of what proteins do and why they are so important for our body. How do we obtain them? We obtain them through different protein containing rich food, and that is the end of this introduction lesson. Thank you.